So you're trying to set up privacy and cookies for your Wix website? Well, we're going to show you the settings of how to do that right here, right now with this lesson. Let's go. All right, so boom, you're going to essentially land here on settings. When you go to settings, you're going to land here for your privacy and cookies. As you see right here where my mouse is, you're going to go ahead and click on that, right? Once you click on it, you have all of these different options like display cookie consent banner. And you've seen this before, like the little banner that's usually at the bottom of your screen. As soon as you go to a website, it's like accept all or decline. You have the ability to set that up right here. You can set up your privacy policy. Now, I don't give legal advice, but however you set up your privacy policy, this is where you do that at. You can essentially set up your privacy policy however best works for you, right? And you can add do not sell data link. Now, again, take this with a grain of salt. I do not personally suggest that you add this. You can, depending on your industry. But if it doesn't come up, I don't suggest it. Only reason why I say that is because you don't want to put doubt in your viewers, whoever your visitors' mind, like that the data is being sold. So if you don't present it like in any way, then it's kind of like it's something that they wouldn't think about until you present it that way. You're like, you know what, my data can be being sold. Now, with Digital REM, we're not selling anybody's data, and more likely you're not selling anybody's data, but at the same time, you kind of want to have that in your privacy policy, but at the same time, you don't want to have a banner pop up like, hey, bling, 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 we're not selling your data. Because again, it's going to put that doubt into your viewers' mind, and they might, leave your site just based off of that. So again, there's a fine balance that you pretty much want to work out with that, right? So we're just going to click on, well, before we do that, there are the app market where you can go into like different tools that you can use for this. So again, the privacy policy terms and more, like different apps that'll help you with this process. But we're going to just stay in the settings right here. So with that being said, we're going to go to display a cookie consent banner, edit cookie banner, right? And you can make it, as you see, this is our website, and the cookie banner is essentially this small little thing right here. You can see it. And what we'll do, we'll add it just so you can see, and then we'll pull it up on if they'll let us pretty much like view it so you can see what it looks like. But you have a light version. So the light version, you see it changed right there. You can have a dark version, just depending on the aesthetic of your website to match it. You want to set it up just like that. You can have the accept button. These are all pretty much straightforward. Like, if you have any questions about that, leave it in the comment. Leave it in the comments. Like, I think it's pretty straightforward how to set this up, right? Add a decline all button. You can do that or turn that off or whatever you want to do. However you want to put your legal terms here as far as consent, so on and so forth. I think you get it, right? Let's go back. Again, it's similar to set the privacy policy. You're going to set the privacy policy actually up in the privacy policy page. Again, you want to get that legal verbiage done right, if it be by a lawyer or whatever the case may be, but you want to make sure that verbiage is done right and fits your actual business, right? And then add a do not sell data link, right? And I want to say this is just another add-on that would go on your actual site in the editor. And this is what's loading right now. It's the editor page. Again, depending on your industry, I'm not going to say it's not necessary, but it might not be necessary for the industry that you're in. But again, it just depends. If you are working with a lot of data that the customer is inserting of personal information, this is going to be very, very important to that. So again, if you have something where they're entering bank account information, they're entering social security and all kinds of just personal data, this is very important. This is very important for something like that. But again, if you're something like one of the creators in the Creator Academy, you're a photographer, videographer, something like that, you're a graphic designer, you're a web designer, you have your own clothing store, you have your own boutique, you sell merchandise online, things like that, this isn't as important in those type of situations, right? Do not sell data, right? And you can add it to the site by just simply clicking here, right? Let's go ahead and add it. Let's see what happens. Because we're gonna have to go to, I want to go to this site anyway so we can see that consent. Here we go. So this part pops up, do not sell personal information. It's his own little section, and I will put this like somewhere in the footer or something. Like we drag all the way down to the footer. Probably like somewhere right here. Boom. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure exactly where that would go. To be totally honest with you, I'm not 100% sure where that would go. That is not a common thing I notice on websites. So we're gonna go into view, a live view mode, and see if the cookie pop up. It doesn't pop up here. So let's see what the cookies look like. Edit cookies banner. So maybe it's just when we're live, it's gonna show. So again, you get a preview right here to make it so you can see it easier. We can make it white, but you've seen this before. Like you'll get this banner pop up and say accept or deny, right? You just want to set that up. Boom. And then we have one more tab we're going to go to, is this visitors data. So you could do a data request or a consent log. Get a copy of or permanently delete your customers' personal data. Keep track of your visitors' consent to cookies placed on your site. So if they consent, again, this is stuff that's very, very important if you are definitely taking in, so a lot of personal information. You want to keep track of this. You want to keep logging this. You want to make sure you have the documentation to say that shows that they consented to whatever that thing is, right? And if somebody requests to have their data removed, again, you can put a request. They can put a request in, or you can put a request in here, and it'll remove the data from the website. So that pertains to cookies. Boom, so there it is. That's how you set up your cookies and your personal settings or privacy settings for your actual Wix website. Very, very important, very, very valuable if you are working with people's personal information. If you're working heavily in people's personal information, I definitely highly urge you definitely get a legal counsel in this, but also highly urge that you put these elements into your site. So with that being said, hopefully you found value in this. Hopefully this takes you one step closer to goals. Hopefully this answers the question of how do you add cookies to your website if you are working with personal data and personal information, and then the importance of, if you are working with personal information, go ahead and add those cookies. So with that being said, I will see you all in the next lesson. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the stuff so the algorithm knows to look for people just like you who are trying to figure out how to put those cookies on their website, how to put those consent to personal data information on your website, things like that. All of the stuff we kind of talked about, the privacy policy, all of this stuff, how to put it on your website. The first steps doing that is setting up your Wix website. So with that being said, I'll see you all in the next lesson, y'all. Later. Peace.